Around last week, I got to interview Brian Scudamore, the guy who started 1-800-GOT-JUNK. He also dropped out of high school and university early and somehow still managed to run a $700 million business. Brian's father was a liver transplant surgeon. He spent more decades in school, and that's more than most people ever could. When Brian told him he was dropping out of UBC to start a junk removal business even though it was 1 year left, his dad wasn't too fancy about the idea. But he said, "I trust you." And that trust took 15 years to fully pay off, but it worked. And Brian didn't just lean on his father, he asked questions everywhere. At the coffee shop where he worked, he was known for asking a lot of questions. He served a lot of business people, and he would ask, "What do you do? And how did you build this?" In his 20s, he joined the Entrepreneur Organization. And that was the realest schooling that he ever could have. He cold called his heroes and legends, such as Howard Schultz, founder of Starbucks, and Fred DeLuca, founder of Subway.
I would meet with other entrepreneurs constantly and ask them questions. How did you reach the magic number of $100 million or $1 billion business?
Oh, yeah.
And I had to get confidence from others that could my idea actually take me to that place? So it was an education in a different format. I'm very ADHD, I have trouble sitting still and focusing for a long time. And so my idea of how I learned would be, some people would read books and sit in class. I would go out and knock on doors and talk to other entrepreneurs and business people and ask them questions and be curious.
For me, doing this interview was super awesome because I even related and felt like I wasn't alone on some of the points that Brian shared. For context, I'm a teen who chose to school themselves outside of traditional public school, and I especially relate to some of the points that Brian shared about building social relationships. While he built relationships with EO, I'm building relationships all around the world through global conventions, local events, and overall just really great chill places where I find a lot of really great people. It wasn't always easy for me though, because I remember growing up, I was always viewed as pretty snobbish and always preferring alone time. My keys consist of 3 principles. 1, listen more than you talk. 2, expect the unexpected in different personalities. And 3, just because you're alone doesn't always mean that you're lonely, and it's a mentality that takes time to get used to, and that's okay. And that's also how I worked with my parents so that they can be more comfortable with me schooling myself from scratch. That didn't come overnight either. From weighing out Brian's story related to mine, there's one really big question that I'm curious about. To what degree is different wishes acceptable, especially when it comes to parents growing up as a teen? From looking at Brian's case, I don't think that he rejected the values that his father had, which was hard work, dedication, and service, genuinely to people. It's only the format that Brian didn't agree with. Same roots, different branches. Brian's dad's a surgeon. Brian decided to start in junk.
Yeah, I had to look at myself and say, what really makes me tick. And over the years, it's always been having this mindset of just, it's kind of fun to do the impossible. Walt Disney, one of my favorite quotes is, it's kind of fun to do the impossible. And when we say in our minds something's impossible, it has me often go, well, is it? What if we could do this great thing together? And so I've always been a possibility thinker and seen opportunities. And I think that the darkest times of when I failed and had big challenges or obstacles in my way, it's been the ability to look at something and go, but what if? What if I could get out of this hole? What if I could create a business that would change the world? And when you start thinking big, you never know. Some of those dreams might actually happen if you take the first step.
Through talking with his dad, even though it was rocky in between, he eventually earned respect over approval. And I think that's a really big difference. For him, it just took courage, bravery, and a willingness to be open-minded. That's a story of service versus status. Those are the kind of stories I love to share when talking to some of the most exceptional people I've ever met who've done really crazy things and went back to where they are today.